Hello.
Is this Mel Brooks?
Yes, is this Bill?
This is Bill Newcott. How nice to talk to you.
Was it always Newcott?
Well, it started out, it was something else when my relatives lived in Lithuania.
Neukreuzer, probably, something weird. So Bill, how can I help you with...
I have been lucky enough to be spending the last couple of days getting paid to watch your collection. The incredible Mel Brooks.
And this is a whole different thing. This is like the real me, doing everything in real life, you know. They found a lot of it on YouTube. I collected something that I found in the 40s, you know, some scripts from from 1949, a script I wrote for Sid Caesar, and stuff like that. You know, it's kind of archival. A lot of it is. And then there's some things that are just plain funny, like a couple of appearances on the Johnny Carson show.
I was watching the clips of the Carson show this morning, and you tell a really funny story about
which one did you like? Tell me.
Well, you tell this story about being starstruck by meeting by Cary Grant.
Oh yeah.
And you had the office across from you from your bungalow at University.
Yeah. I was writing.
Of course you do a great Cary Grant. Can you still do the Cary Grant imitation?
Yeah. I still do. Well, I do. In addition to that, I used to do impressions. I would do Cary Grant. Well, I'll tell you something. I used to do Cary Grant. I used to do, don't tell me that. You know, I used to do Cagney. I used to do all of those. And then I would throw in, like, Thomas Jefferson. And I said, well, you know, who's going to criticize that? You know, is anybody in the audience going to stand up and say, that is not Thomas Jefferson? He never had a lisp, you know. Listen, I would say, good evening, ladies and Jews. And then I'd say, man of 1,000 faces. And so I would do 3 or 4 faces, which were different. And I mean, the idea of announcing that you're going to do 1,000 faces is it's so crazy, it's so bizarre. So the band is already tickled, you know, man of 1,000 faces. And by the 6th or 7th face, you could hear the Jews saying 5 was good. I don't know 4. I don't know who the hell 4 was. You know, and they're expecting 1,000 faces. You know, and the band is and the band is getting hysterical. And you know, like, and I would do Lon Chaney Jr. You know, I would do these different faces, you know, and some of the Jews in the mountains would jump up and say, "That's it, that's him! No, that's him!" They'd scream, you know.
You seem to you love being Jewish, don't you?
You know, I have it. And the 2,000-year-old man, he says, "Do you have a national anthem?" And I said, "Of course, every cave had a national anthem." And he said, "Do you remember yours?" And I say something like, "Are you kidding? You don't forget a national anthem, for God's sake." He says, "Well, what was your cave's name?" "Let them all go to hell except Cave 76. So that was our national anthem. But you know, when you say something as simple and refreshing, by the way, is that you like being Jewish, you enjoy being Jewish. I think there is a strange phenomenon. No matter where, I mean, even you mentioned it casually, you know, without realizing it. I think it's all unconscious, but I think it works. Whatever litter box you were born into, you still salute as critical to your nature and to your life. So you mentioned Lithuanian, you know. Yeah, you can't help it. You simply can't help it. It's all unconscious. And I was born a Jew, and I'm not sure I know where. So there are 2 things that I am very excited and patriotic about. One is being a Jew. The other is being a Brooklynite. I was born in Brooklyn. So Brooklyn means an incredible. It means, you know, home, the homeland, the fatherland, you know. So when you say to me, you like being Jewish, there's no choice. It's the flag. I got to salute that. You know, it's right above my head. You know. Yep. I make a case for being Jewish. You know, like I point out that Jews were eternally in for it, always getting kind of a raw deal. So, and and I don't think seriously it will be many years, many generations before the world, especially the Jews, could ever forget the insanity of putting people in gas chambers and exterminating them, little kids. It's just too bizarre.
Because you not only are Jewish, you were stationed in Europe during World War II. You were shot
Right.
at, and yet you've always found humor in lampooning Hitler. Now, I recently wrote a piece about what I call the 21 essential movies for grown-ups, and I put one comedy on that list, and that was The Producers. And because I said anything that you find funny over the past 50 years started with The Producers and then grew out of there.
Bless you.
And this woman wrote to me, how can Mr. Brooks have written that comedy? Because it's about Hitler. There's nothing funny about Hitler. And I'm betting they never saw your Hitler rap, by the way.
By the way, the Hitler rap starts the box set.
I know. I saw it this morning.
The first 5 minutes of the box set.
So
I love it.
When did you start? When did you realize you could laugh about that era and that it was?
Well, I didn't know what to do with my frustration, with my anger, with my acute depression at not being able. Frustration is the word, not depression. Acute frustration is not being able to do anything about this incredible phenomenon of rounding up my people and like cattle and just decimating them. So I think unconsciously, I think I was always looking for some way back, some payback, some answer. And I knew that if I was serious about it, I'd be drenched in the same kind of feelings, and it wouldn't stick out. It would just be lost in the river of woe. But anyway, I realized that you can't get on a soapbox and match these guys. Their fervor and their talent for oratory is way beyond your. But they don't know, a joke from a mockingbird. They don't know nothing about humor. So that's my edge. And my edge is to deflate them, take all the air out of them, and ridicule them with humor. And I knew it. I knew that was my job.
Yeah.